everyone. How you doing? It is Saturday. No, it's not. It's Sunday. That means it's time for Weekend Winters. How you doing, y'all? I am sleepy. I also already see you all playing in the chat. Hello, silly heads. You think your mic was... Yeah. Yeah, very possible that I forgot to mute my mic. I am tired. I am sleepy. I think my camera's got a bit of a fuzz. Hello, everyone. How you doing? I was up very late playing my D&D. Do I need to clean up? Hold on, I need to clean off my screen. I feel like a mother who's got a kid with a messy face. Come here, let me clean you off. Come here. Let me make a clean spot on your face. All right. Okay, that's better. How y'all doing? I'm going to be on a little bit of a shorter schedule today because I'm just too tired. I mean, I want to show up for y'all. I'm here. We're going to talk about politics. We're going to have a bit of fun, but only for like a half hour. It is the last day official of my vacation. Tomorrow I am back. Another working stiff, clocking in, clocking out, earning my keep. But I'm going to be lazy until then. So I'm just going to do some bookmarks. I'm going to have some fun. So let me go. I'm still setting up the screen a little bit because I'm still getting used to this new setup. Yeah, we're just going to have a look at this. Someone asked how spicy the potpourri was going to get. I love that. Y'all make me laugh. That's hilarious. Yeah, so let me just set this up a little bit more. I actually had the bookmarks up and then I messed it up. But anyway, who is in the chat this morning? I want to thank you for stopping by, spending some time with me. I do appreciate it. So I want to say hi to A to Decay. Thank you for stopping by. As well as DN Fan Regular, always here. Lace in the chat, how you doing? Lucky Wanderer, did anyone remember to roll to seduce in the D&D game? This is pretty funny. I don't often put a lot of D&D stuff on the Sunday because it's not really like what we do here on the channel, right? I tend to do more nerdy things and I leave my D&D stuff for my D&D channel because what I learned is when I go and try to do stuff on my main channel for D&D, I lose people. As a consequence, I stopped. But there was some highlights, clips, I think, that were pretty funny. Created, can I see the ones? You know what I hate? I hate Twitch. I freaking hate Twitch. I have to go. Okay, let's go to my channel. Can I go to my channel from here without the whole interfacey thing and the whole huge commitment? Okay, thank you. Now, how do I get to my clips? Did I mention I hate this channel? All right, I've got this muted so you guys can't hear that. All right, let's see if it's in the videos. It is actually pretty funny. Yes. All right, I found it. It is this clip here. Not exactly a roll to seduce, but thank you for bearing with me with my nerdy D&D stuff. This is R&D being a classic. Even though he's not a bard, he's acting very much like the stereotypical bard in the game. So this is currently on, all set to go. Yes, yes, yes. All good. All right, let's watch R&D go to horny jail.
Also, these people here, madam, they're kind of a little slow. It's okay. I promise if you hang around, I can stop them attacking you and give you an incredible night every night.
I'm going to attack you.
For the whole desert. The desert will not be dry, I promise.
When you just hear a marble, just go.
I want to dub that in with Ben Shapiro doing his rendition.
You're gonna need a Muppet and
keyword.
I would not usually do this, but Eldon, the next thing you do is a disadvantage, and I don't care what it is.
So there you go. That was our last night, being very silly, mucking about, having a good time. So not exactly a roll to seduce. Very dodgy, but yes, a charm or whatever. Yeah, well, charm is this particular magic spell. Anyway, it was a lot of fun, except I was up till 5 in the morning, and then I needed to get up and be ready for y'all. Make sure I come with something. All right, so that was That was one of the highlights. If you want to watch more of that silliness, of course, you can go over to the Twitch channel, Rolling Left. You can watch the whole episode, or if you want to get caught up here on my D&D channel on YouTube, you can also, I'll show you that really quick, you can follow the series. It's a little bit delayed when it moves from Twitch to YouTube, but we are sort of archiving all of the content, all of the content we do on Twitch over here on YouTube. So to do that, you can check out D&D Gaming with Kristi. I took out Winters just because it made it easier. And that didn't help at all. Anyway, yeah. So you can go over there and watch D&D Gaming and catch up on that. All right, let's get not D&D stuff. Let's get back to the politics nerdy things. And we do have some bookmarks here, but it's way too early. So, who else is in the chat? Neo Ripshaft, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever it is, whenever it is you are. Sean House, I see you in there. Good to see you as well. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Exactly. I don't know where people are, and I want to be inclusive in my time zone specificity. All right, so a lot of these are just ones that I had saved up and hadn't done on the happy hour. And as a consequence, some of them might have some naughty words, which I'm not going to say out loud because I do want to monetize this channel. So I'm going to, baby-proof the content here. How's my lighting? It's a little bit on the harsh side, I think. I can maybe soften that. All right. Yeah, not quite so washed out. I think that's a slightly nicer look. What do you guys think? All right. Changing flavors of nerdcraft. Absolutely. Hey, El Magnifico. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. All right, I want to say that this one is a flowchart for like socialists who hate Democrats. In this case, I'm talking about Democratic Party Democrats in the States. And in all honesty, this is kind of what it feels like with the criticism from the left. And I don't mean in here, let me specify. I don't mean all left. I think that there is obviously a place for internal disagreement, critique, and criticism. However, there is a difference between critique in identifying things that are both good and bad, and then there's just blanket criticism, which is no matter what you do, you mess up. Oftentimes, it feels like people who are farther to the left than, in the case of the Democratic Party in the US, just blindly lump in all. I will even name names. I think Sean, formerly Sean and Jen, is really bad at it was until we stopped talking. Terrible at just accusing Democrats because of one Democrat doing something, inappropriate, just labeling all Democrats as crap. And it's annoying and defeatist. And so this flowchart kind of sums up that frustration. Cosplay socialist chart for judging Democrats. Did Democrats do it? Question 1. Was it good? Well, if it wasn't good enough, so screw them. If it was bad, well, then obviously screw them. Did the Republicans do it? Was it good? Yes. Well, then why didn't the Democrats do it? Screw the Democrats. Was it bad that the Republicans did it? Oh, the Democrats let them do it and gave them permission and allowed it. Therefore, they are bad. Honestly, this is what it sounds like to me. Not hashtag not all leftists, but hashtag too many leftists. All right. Hello, Nil Magnifico. And Andrew in the chat too. Oh my gosh, all kinds of people showing up. Must be an exciting Sunday somewhere because it feels like there's a lot of people here. All righty, we're just gonna do some potpourri in my bookmarks because Kristi couldn't be bothered to prep for the show. Kristi been busy. Rumor, you're here too. Oh my gosh, it is a party. We officially need to get a minibus now for all the people talking in the chat. So thank you for stopping by. Thank you for letting me know you're here. I don't know that this is just funny to me. Lady with the full cart and me with one item. You can go ahead, sweetie. I do this all the time. I mean, I don't think people don't like bend down their knees and pray for like worship me. But honestly, if I have a full cart, it's going to take me a while to just unload. Someone could go and get a purchase done in that time. It's just my multitasking nature. But I did think this was funny. I thought that was very, very funny. I hope I didn't miss anyone in the chat. So, all right, this is also going to be a bit of a mix of COVID karma. I guess is that an official cause of death in the United States? I know COVID can be listed, or complications of COVID. can be listed as a cause of death. COVID karma, I think, needs to become a new medical category. 33-year-old guy chose not to be vaccinated. Yeah, he died from COVID. You know, we've talked about these stories too many times. You've heard me. I sound like a broken record. I don't have enough sympathy in my life for people who refuse to get something that is, I mean, there's no barrier. They've made them free. They've provided them everywhere, right? They've got screening and they make you stay, for instance, there in case you have a bad reaction, right? Oh, is this going to block me from seeing their content? Okay. Yeah, so guy who chose not to be vaccinated left a message before dying of COVID after 3 weeks in the hospital. Please get vaccinated. This guy was a little bit optimistic going into the end of his days. On October 24th, Mackenzie posted a photo from his hospital room saying that he appreciated prayers, but he needed something else from his friends and family. Quote, yes, there is something I want everyone to do for me that I was too darn stubborn to do, edited for swear word content, and that is, if you haven't done so yet, go get your COVID vaccine, Mackenzie wrote before adding, trust me, you don't want to be where I am now, and as soon as I get over this, I'll be getting my vaccine. Never got over it. And the thing is, I don't think that any of these stories have an effect on people who are, anti-vaccine. Maybe eventually some of them are wearing down as a consequence of watching people they know and love die, but oh well. Okay, right, so, there's a bit of a ambivalence between military history in the United States and military history as a source of social restructuring, right? Obviously, the military has long been a male-dominated, cis-male-dominated organization. And as a consequence, integration, what it can do is the way that I see it is it's a way for patriarchy to create some level of solidarity by othering non-cis male bodies. In other words, like within the military, if you have integration, there's going to be an opportunity for levels of trust and respect that don't exist in ordinary society. Traditionally, right, there are efforts to reorganize the military to be more inclusive. But if we're looking at a picture like this, one of the biggest social engineering pushes in American society was certainly the integration of the military services. And oftentimes the contributions of Black soldiers aren't adequately addressed in high school. And therefore, I just wanted to flag up this interesting historic focus on the work of Black Americans, or the efforts, the sacrifices of Black Americans in history, especially as regards to this particular time period in the times of the Civil War, or actually yes. So, and people who died in the early 1930s. So yeah, I don't know if anyone else is interested in military history. If so, I'll go ahead and retweet this out. You can check out my account and go have a look at that. It's got some nice photos as well, documenting men who made a contribution, whose faces and bodies aren't necessarily the ones that are honored by the types of monuments, especially in the South, that white people have chosen to put up. A little bit there. We talked a bit on the happy hour about the Texas law banning abortion being so incredibly wide and, irresponsible in my case, that if you were to drive someone to a clinic, even not knowing what they were going to that clinic for, you could get caught up and prosecuted. And obviously the goal here is to terrorize everyone, basically put pressure on citizens to feel so afraid of being prosecuted by the state that they are willing to screen out even the possibility of taking a woman to a reproductive clinic on the off chance she might be going to terminate a pregnancy. Even though, or person, I should say, but taking a person to a reproductive clinic that provides those kinds of services on the off chance. This is clearly illegal, clearly unconstitutional. But the thing that Republicans do is they pass these ridiculous laws, and then they use, because they're controlled state governments, they use the taxpayers to fund their ridiculous lawsuits. I would love to see a study of the amount of money wasted by Republicans for passing and then defending unconstitutional attacks on Roe. I'm sure it is into the billions, and no one calls them out on that wasteful spending. They just consider, all of these lawsuits, taxpayer-funded attacks on people's rights. As a consequence, there were concerns about how individual drivers in Texas should respond, because they would be exposing themselves legally to these types of arrests and prosecutions. The Lyft came out. We talked about it. I think we accidentally in the last happy hour said it was Uber, but it was not. It was Lyft. So let's have a look to see what Lyft said. Dear Lyft riders and drivers, a new Texas law, SB 8, threatens to punish drivers for getting people where they need to go, specifically women exercising their right to choose to access the healthcare they need. Just like flag up for crude dichotomous gendered assumptions on who can get pregnant. So let's just put an asterisk and put pregnant people next to that. We want to be clear, drivers are never responsible for monitoring where their riders go or why. Imagine being a driver and not knowing if you are breaking the law by giving someone a ride. Similarly, riders never have to justify or even share where they are going and why. Imagine being a pregnant woman trying to get to a healthcare appointment and not knowing if your driver will cancel on you for fear of breaking a law. Both are completely unacceptable. This law is incompatible with people's basic right to privacy, our community guidelines, the spirit of rideshare, and our values as a company. We are taking action on 2 fronts. 1. Lyft has created a driver legal defense fund to cover 100% of legal fees for drivers sued under SB 8 while driving on our platform. Riders and drivers, nothing about how you drive, ride, or interact with each other should change. Texas SB 8 is an attack on women's right to choose. Lyft is donating $1 million to Planned Parenthood to help ensure that transportation is never a barrier to healthcare access. If you feel compelled to join us as an individual, you can make a donation here. Logan and John Lyft, co-founders, Kirsten Severchik, Lyft General Counsel. F around and find out. If Texas keeps wanting to put, things in that violate people's basic rights, then don't be surprised when there's going to be pushback, and not just from the left. Corporations, have people who work for them too. And some of those people who own them are pretty, not right wing like you are. All right. Hey, Neo Ripchef's got me, tagging me in the chat. What do you got to say there? I believe Andrew Siddell of the Freedom from Religions Foundation has put together some numbers with respect to legal hate groups. Ah, good. They use this info to dissuade towns from engaging constitutional violations. FFRF is a great group. Yeah, thumbs up to them. Absolutely. This is pretty old now. It's from the 14th of September, but just 50 Shades of Way, noting that 15 educators who worked for the Miami-Dade County School District died from COVID in the last 10 days. Florida alone, Florida on its own, crossed 50,000 individuals who died. I don't think. All right, what's the population of Florida? Population. Okay, let's go population of Germany. I think it's 8.8 or 83. Okay, we'll call it 83. Right, 83 million. Florida has how many people? Oh my gosh. 21 million in 2019. So we'll call it, let's just say it's 22. So 83 million population in the entire, Germany, because, sorry, my computer is German and I flipped it around. Okay. 92,000 people have died in Germany with a population of 83 million. COVID deaths, Florida. 51,000. 83 million people, still under 100,000 deaths, 92,000 deaths. A state that is a quarter as big has more than half of the number of deaths. Like, I don't know how you just don't call that a massive failure on every level. Republicans think that PP only does, terminations. They do so much other healthcare. Look, PP was my healthcare provider for reproductive things, basically, like, until I got a full-time job. Absolutely. I loved Planned Parenthood. They do great stuff. Right. Yeah, don't let your friends don't let friends move to Florida, I'm telling you, or Texas. It's just simply ridiculous. It's simply ridiculous. The fact that those rates. All right, okay, emotional roller coaster. And yeah, Florida is massively underreporting. They are definitely manipulating numbers there. I mean, I just like, can I be purely cold-hearted here? And purely like, I'll be as heartless as a Republican. I mean, obviously, in terms of voters, quite a number of the early voters were probably from populations that would support Democratic candidates. However, if you look at it in terms of the distributions, whites, Hispanic, non-white, Hispanic, I don't know the official Florida categories, because they obviously have like quite a range of, you're gonna say Latino or Hispanic populations, which have different backgrounds, different perspectives, and therefore different voting patterns. But like, elections are lost and won by 20,000 votes in Florida. And if people in the second wave are mostly like in that Trump category, they're looking at like potentially enough votes based on these COVID numbers to swing elections. If, let's say 60% of the population votes. And like I say, that's a cold-hearted, not a human-based calculation at all. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense to promote the passing of your own supporters, All right, hey, let's look at something nice. And fingers crossed, this won't get me any copyright slaps. So here we go. Okay, Il Magnifico, go and write your thought experiment. Oh, she's getting all fancy. You see that? That little turn around, it went backwards. Also, I just want to say, like, the woman who's doing the, what do you call it? Like the soprano part, the melody part. She's just so graceful as she like floats across the keys. And I'm not saying the guys aren't graceful, but in comparison, she looks like a feather on the wind, and they look like ducks. I'm sorry, they just do. Okay, that's the end. All right, so what was the question y'all had for me in the chat skis? they can gerrymander enough to make up for using bioterror against their voters. Well, remember that when it comes to gubernatorial races, attorney general, presidential, and the U.S. Senate, that is statewide totals. You can't gerrymander a voting population. That is eventually even if they gerrymander the heck out of people, they have to also do voter suppression or attempts of voter suppression. Because in states like Wisconsin, even though you're going to get gerrymandering affecting the outcome of who gets elected, in other words, disproportionately Republicans will get elected despite a Democratic electorate, you can't. It's much harder to do that when it comes to statewide races. So for like the presidential race, just remember that there's two levels on which those things work in the U.S. Where is the evidence that they are underreporting? Oh gosh, yeah. Oh, you want the okay? Yeah, no worries. Florida messing with their Florida undercounting. There's a lot of evidence that they have been manipulating their data in Florida. April 1st, 40%. I'm trying to find something from more recent. So May seems to be. This is the Columbia COVID data misrepresented. September 1st. All right. Let's take a look at a couple of these. The South Florida Sun Sentinel reported that the Florida Department of Health had commenced an inquiry into the state's reporting of COVID deaths after Ron DeSantis suggested the official reports overstate the number of deaths. According to the report, the governor and members of his staff repeatedly questioned the accuracy of the COVID-19 deaths rates. Data from the Centers of Disease Control suggests that Florida's total death toll from the pandemic is actually understated. Experts noticed that DeSantis' administration had used a COVID infection rate that gives, quote, more weight to negative test results, unquote, and thus skews the results. So this is from the Columbia Law Center. That's documented. Oh, shoot, I closed the wrong one. What's this one? I think this is very similar. How many people have died of COVID-19 in your Florida community? Your state won't tell you. Florida killed one Floridian on average about every 4 minutes last week, the second worst in the nation. But for those wanting to know how many people are dying every day in their own communities, good luck. The state of Florida won't say, nor will most local public health officials. At least one county acknowledged it doesn't know. Federal websites show either incomplete or inconsistent data for Florida's counties. So, yep. No. It's okay. So just I wanted to. Hey, trans gamer girl. Good morning. So, yes, there's some funkiness happening in Florida. Cats are liquid. We saw this in the happy hour, but I also bookmarked it because cats are liquid. Oh my gosh, I've been on half an hour already. I've entertained y'all for a half hour. So let's do a couple more, and then I'm gonna wrap it up. Alabama schools report. Alabama, thank you, Alabama, for helping to contribute to another 13,000 cases of COVID in a 2-week period. This is why we can't have nice things, people. This is why we can't. All right. Oh gosh, this guy. Apparently this is a party parliamentary candidate somewhere in the UK, I presume. Yes, this is what they... Breathe deeply into your balls. Imagine your T's expanding like lungs. I don't know. Do they do that? Do your TTs, your tests, do your tests expand like lungs? When you exhale, imagine them deflating like your lungs would. Most men never breathe into their baseballs consciously. This simple practice can be used to stimulate your BDE and begin rotating it around the microcosmic what? And begin to rotate it around the microcosmic orbit. I'm sorry, what? I don't have a brilliant grasp on biology. I did basic anatomy from my massage therapy class. I don't remember any lungs besides the ones up here. I don't remember anyone talking about extra lung capacity. Oh, maybe he's from Canada? Okay, he might be from Canada, that's true. So, breathe deeply, y'all. Breathe deeply. It was just funny. All right. Okay. Yeah. Let's just maybe we can end on this because things that really happened in the world. Tucker Carlson reading about things becoming swollen. There's a real thing that happened in 2021. So let's have a look at this.
She added this. She said that her cousin in Trinidad, quote, won't get the vaccine because his friend got it and became impotent. His testicles became swollen. His friend was weeks away from getting married. Now that girl called off the wedding. So just pray on it and make sure you're comfortable with your decision, not bullied. Which seems sensible. Big reaction to this.
Tucker is vaccinated. So there you go. Tucker Carlson talking about testicles. I think I've just become demonetized, even though I try to keep it clean. I don't know what they're going to do. But anyway, all right. Oh, no. Okay, so Neo Ripshaft, this will be the last thing that goes on. To show me how to breathe in your junk. Yeah, we'll ask Kevin to do a video, right? You guys, I'll ask Kevin to go how to breathe into his junk. All right. I have something that might make you incredibly happy. Have you seen the prank interview with the ball-breathing fellow? I have not. Can you hook me up for next time? I will definitely send it to me on Twitch, or not Twitch. Send it to me on Twitter, either by DMs. Is there a hair? There's a hair here. By DMs or tag me into it on Twitter. I will bookmark it for either a happy hour or for another show. So breathing from the diaphragm, yeah, the diaphragm still. That's not cool. Yeah, that's. I think they're mixing up where their balls start. All right, yeah, that's the whole Nikki thing. And apparently this is just like, sort of internet rumors on top of rumors. Would Tucker Carlson do his due diligence as a reporter and vet this story before putting it out? Of course he wouldn't. Because he's a white supremacist, authoritarian fascist who hates democracy and freedom. All right, so y'all, I'm done. I'm done. I'm on holiday. I'm going to go do holiday. I realize I've kind of like pointed up this whole time. I feel like I've been lording over you. I am so superior. Anyway, yeah, have a good week until next time. I'm going to be playing some D&D tonight, playing some D&D Tuesday/Wednesday, but otherwise you can expect me back on Friday on Twitch. Go check out Kevin Logan on Twitch. What is that, like Kevin Logan 1875? Yeah, that sounds about right, because I was doing that little jingle, 1875. For his Twitch, and you can also catch up on our D&D nonsense either on our Twitch channel or on my D&D channel. So yeah, thank you, and thanks for the well wishes for the rest of my holiday. Next week, I'm hoping to be back. We'll do we'll get back to some nerdiness with Weber and the philosophy of social science, because I think doing those little chunks and mixing it up with some other stuff was pretty good. It's very intense content otherwise on a Sunday morning, so it's just like a small hit of nerdiness before getting on with the rest of your day. All right, well, thank you everyone for stopping by. I do appreciate your time and your attention and spending a little bit of time with me. Go get yourself a nice cup of tea or a nice cup of coffee or a beer or a water, refreshing water, if whatever it is that you like. And I'll see you all next time. So until then, I have been Kristi. You've been awesome. Have a wonderful weekend. Be well, and we'll talk again soon. Okay. Oh no, I've got to hold on. I have to distract a little bit and drag this out while I get the right button up. Okay.